All right, welcome everyone. My name is Daryl Keyser, CEO and founder of Candy Box Marketing. I am really excited today, talking about how to win a Stanley Cup. And I know, I understand it's a clickbait title. I get it. We're in marketing. Okay, we can't help it. But there's been a bit of a phenomenon with Stanley Cups, not that Stanley Cup, a different Stanley Cup, which we'll be talking about. And we're going to be talking about influencers today. And, as you can start to understand from our slides and what we're talking about as an agency, we sincerely, passionately believe in digital marketing that actually works. If it works, you've got my attention. If it's a fad or if it just gets you really popular and if it's not really driving revenue, we don't care as an agency. We are looking at marketing that actually works. And so today we're going to be talking about how to win a Stanley Cup. I'm going to be joined by Mahfouz Chowdhury, our director of strategy, in the chat. And so feel free, as we're going through this presentation, to send us questions, send through your comments, your love, all that fun stuff. We really appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to be here today. And what we want to focus on today is how can you, as a company, win a Stanley Cup. Now, when we start talking about Stanley Cups here, I'm gonna bring up this slide here. So this is the Leafs. All right, this is the Leafs. Do you remember what year this is? Not do you remember? Do you know what year this is? This is 1967. It was also the year that my mom was born, and she's been retired for 10 years. So this picture is a little painful for some of us living in the Greater Toronto area. Not so painful for everybody else that is just kind of laughing at our progress over the last number of years. But this is a Stanley Cup, and this is a really great moment. And I'm not talking at all about this today. What the Stanley Cup that I'm talking about today is this Stanley Cup. And if my wonderful video guy can also help me, I'm going to show you another Stanley Cup, an actual branded candy box Stanley Cup. You can see it right here. All right, this is a cup that we're talking about today. And when we take a look at consumer trends, I personally find that when you take a look at like business to business and business to consumer, the B2C market is always first. It always has the most amount of impact, the most amount of marketing dollars to go out, and so it is teaching us about trends that also hit B2B. So if you're sitting here today saying, you know what, candy box marketing is traditionally like they've been helping companies with lead generation and branding and all that stuff. Yes, we are still that same company. However, However, there's stuff that we need to learn about this story of this cup that has exploded over this last 4 years that I believe that we can all take to our businesses. So, what is Stanley? So Stanley, if you recognize any of these items, and there's other pictures of cups, they're really just insulated cups, okay? Thermoses. The one right here in the slideshow, it says, I have to go close. It says Stanley vacuum bottle. All right, so these were kind of like the blue collar, bring some soup or drinks or stuff to work company, and they've been around for 111 years. All right, and I want to stress this because so many times people think that products get popular because of their product features. This isn't the case. It's a cup. It's a thermos with a straw and a logo. And let me tell you, if you were to go home and your kid asked for a Stanley Cup and you got them some type of knockoff Stanley Cup, they're not going to be as excited as all the product features. Stanley has created a brand following, like advocates and influencers that are obsessed about the brand. And so that's what I want to focus on today. How did they do it? Because their product, it's older than dirt. Okay, it's 111 years old, and yet this was the number one sale item, number one gift item in 2023 for teenagers. How'd they do it? Well, we're going to take a look. So, first off, I want to show you a video. Now, I'm not playing any audio because sometimes that doesn't always come through with Zoom, but this is a real video. This isn't Black Friday. This isn't Boxing Day. This is just when Stanley had a new Valentine's Day colored cup in January of this year. This is a real video of people grabbing the cups. Now, you'll realize that everyone's grabbing only two. That is because there is a two maximum, a two limit at the checkout counter. But this is like this, once again, this is not a Black Friday sale. This is just them coming up with a new color. 110-year-old company selling cups. Now, I want to show you another video here. Um, Let me jump onto the second one here. This is a video of a girl I think this girl is probably about 8 or 9 years old. She's getting a Stanley Cup for her birthday. All right. So we see here, pouty face, the hug, the words of love. Oh, daddy, this is amazing. This is what you wanted. Uh huh. And then the tears start coming. It's a cup. It holds hot or cold beverages, and it keeps them cold for a long time. And you say, well, maybe that's it. Maybe people just like their beverages really hot and cold. I myself have got two teenage girls that were very excited to receive the same cup at Christmas time. The funny story is my mom got it for them. My mom got the delivery to gift to my daughters. She almost returned it because she looked at the size of it. She goes, clearly, a 15-year-old girl doesn't want an oversized mug. And yet I'm grateful that my mom did not return it. Now, one thing about the video I want to quickly point out for this girl's birthday is what's sitting beside her. Yeah, it took me like 10 watches of this video and then I finally nailed it. I was like, that is a brand new iPhone 15 sitting beside her. The phone is the gift. Okay, it's not like, hey, it's a popular gift for kids. It's the gift for an 8 or 9 year old girl. Okay, like there's nothing better than this. Okay, she has unwrapped it. She has put it to the side. She has not opened it. She is opening the cup, and the moment that they capture is when she is crying over a vacuum seal cup. This is something that we need to pay attention to in marketers and say, how did they get there? Because we have our products, we know what our price is, we know what our place is, but how did they promote it so that an 8 year old girl is weeping over getting this cup that keeps cold drinks cold with an iPhone beside her? This has to be a marketing story for the decades. We also fell into the same trap. All right, we bought 100 Stanleys. So, one of the fun things at Candy Box Marketing, when people trust us with their marketing, we find that a sacred trust. We're absolutely honored. So the first thing we do is we send them a little gift package. So we send them a candy box branded Stanley and a box of Rio Thompson chocolates, mint chocolate smoothies, because they're just so delicious. And so yes, we fell into the same trap. We have now purchased, I think it's 200 Stanleys. So I'm the biggest loser here right now. Now, you may be thinking a bit about the cup. You're thinking, okay, Daryl, maybe it is about the cup. Like maybe people are more into hydration and water is good for you and all that stuff. Okay, can I just remind you of something? Do you remember the 90s? If you do, okay. Do you remember this? Nalgene? Anybody? Or how about this? Hydro Flask. What about Contigo? Anybody? The flip up straw, right? Really convenient. Nice holding in your hand, 32 ounces. Or what about a Yeti? Still popular today, right? They're cups. Yetis as well. They keep cold things cold, hot things hot. So why? Why did this company grow? Now let me show you something that will start to change your mind. In the spring of 2020, okay, the spring of 2020, Terrence Riley left his position as CMO, Chief Marketing Officer for Crocs. More on that in a second. The footwear brand, and became the president of the beverage container manufacturer Stanley. So there was a change in leadership in 2020. And when you see a change in leadership and things change, you got to take note. So for Stanley, which had been selling workaday flasks for more than a century, it was an unexpectedly fashionable hire. So they took a chief marketing officer and made him the chief, or it made him the CEO, the president of Stanley. Now, if we take a look at that, right, in 2019 to 2020, his first year there, they went up from 70 million US dollars in annual global sales to 94 million, gaining 24 million dollars. I think that's probably about, I don't know, 35%, right? 35% growth year over year on a cup, not so bad. Next year, 194, right? They just add a little one before that 194. That's triple digit growth. That's amazing. 402. $750 million, and we're Canadian, so that's $1 billion, right? I mean, like that's where we get to 70 million dollars, all the way up to $750 million. We have to understand what happened here. Now, I bring it back to Terrence. Terrence, if you're watching, what's up? I'm Daryl, talking about you today. Terrence Riley, Chief Marketing Officer, taking over the president role at Stanley. And it seems as though, now it's not like I've talked to Terrence or called him or anything, but everything I've been reading about this company and seeing it online is he really just came in with a really great marketing playbook. And the playbook helped Crocs back in 2015. In 2015, when Terrence was at Crocs, this is when he started at Crocs, it was $13 a share. He left Crocs in 2020, but in 2021, they were showing at $180 a share. They took Crocs, okay, the kind of, some would consider ugly, sweaty foot, fashion, interesting type thing. You attach little gibbets on it to decorate it, all that stuff, footwear. And this isn't like just a common footwear. It's just something very unique and waterproof. I don't understand. But he he had a really good run at Crocs. And then he took that run and then he went over to Stanley, and we see pretty much the exact same game plan being worked out. What game plan is this? Well, it's part of it, and I want to talk about leadership for a second. People will say, well, he's the chief marketing officer, now he's president. There's something to be said about a CMO, right? Not a chief executive officer, but a chief executive and marketing officer. And we see this through the great CEOs of the business halls of fame. Take a look at the Richard Bransons, the Steve Jobs, where these guys spend a lot of time thinking about, participating in, and creating marketing ideas that actually work. Now, granted, they have full marketing teams. And yes, Steve Jobs would have had his marketing officers and all that stuff. I'm not taking credit away from them. However, you take a look at when they were announcing new products. Steve Jobs would go to those theaters, okay, that he was doing a presentation in, and he would practice that 1 hour keynote for 40 hours before they actually went live. He had an integral role to play in being that spokesperson, that influencer, that person that people trusted. And so he would spend time picking up the phone, touching the phone, doing different things, and he would practice over and over and over again because he understood the influence, keyword, right? The influence that he had on the market. We take a look at Stanley. Their story is a story of influencers. Okay, this is a picture of an influencer with different Stanleys, and this was happening for a number of years. So we take a look, and in 2020, the same year that Terrence Riley arrived, I imagine this was one of his initiatives, but maybe it was the team beforehand. They launched an influencer affiliate program, which meant that people could go online and advertise these products, showcase these products, talk about the products, stylize them, do different things with them, and they would make a royalty or a commission off of the sales through affiliate links. All right. So what they were doing was they were mobilizing tons and tons of people to actually advertise these Stanleys for them. And then a couple years later, then lightning struck. Not exactly lightning, but it was a car fire. All right. So let me show you a quick video here. This video, this was reported on the news. It was on TikTok. And let me just show you a little bit what happened here. So the car was on fire. Stanley was in there, and she's shaking it just to show you that there's still ice. So her entire car was engulfed in flames. Everything melted. There's Terrence right there. And then what happened is that the ice survived in the Stanley. That this went viral online. Stanley caught wind of it, and they sent her a new Stanley and a new car, and so that worked out quite well for them. And we take a look at that video, and at the end, let me just switch here. That video had an estimated 140 million views. Okay, that's a lot of people. I don't need to go 140 million views, organic views, right? Just people taking a look at this. So that worked. Now, sometimes people go, "Oh, okay, all we need is like one like lightning strike moment, and that's going to make us popular." No, no, no. That happened in 2023. They were 3 years into their influencer program, and just one person picked it up, and then lightning struck. Sometimes we have our digital marketing plans and what we're doing, and it takes time, and we're sowing and sowing and sowing and sowing and sowing. Then all of a sudden, the harvest comes in. All right. All of a sudden, people actually start taking notice of this. So I'm going to share with you a couple lessons that we as marketers take from this story. And when we're thinking about this in terms of our business, in terms of our clients' business, of how do we have a Stanley Cup win? So number one, we're recognizing that we're moving from celebrities to nano influencers. And why I use the word nano influencers, that sometimes you hear influencer and you're thinking, okay, well, like this is an influential person. I'm talking smaller. Okay, so a person with only a couple hundred people or a couple thousand people online, maybe 10,000 followers, and that person participating in the overall campaign. Okay, so it used to be, we would have celebrities do stuff, right? So here's Arnold Schwarzenegger drinking Diet Pepsi. I'm not sure if he really drinks Diet Pepsi all the time, but it doesn't matter. He's holding it, so it's good enough for us. And you take a look at it, and you go, "I like Arnold," and then so therefore I like Diet. Sorry, I said Diet Pepsi. Diet Seven Up. Okay, I like Diet Seven Up. So this is kind of like what we used to do, being like, "This is who I idolize. This is who I really like. You're endorsing this product. I'm going to buy the product." And that's how companies do that. So celebrities were really the only influencers that we had, right? They were common people that people liked. Now with social media, we're moving down to the fact that everyone is an influencer. All right. So this person this is the lady where her car burnt down. She got a new car. She got her new Stanley. And this turns into an entire PR campaign, right? So now everyone is an influencer. It's not saying celebrities are gone. Okay. That is not what I'm saying whatsoever. We all know that's not the truth. But we're saying enter stage right, the rest of the world. And every single person has influence. And every single influence can grow and expand and go viral. We take a look at Stanley sales revenue 2019 to 2023. People are saying, "Oh yeah, Stanley got lucky because of that car fire." No, no, no. This has nothing to do with it. So I put a picture of the car fire in their growth graph there of when it happened. Okay, but from 2019 to 2020 to 2021 to 2022, this was their plan. All right. It was just, of course, lightning can help and strike and help your plan, but this was already part of their overall marketing strategy, working with everybody to promote a product. Lesson two, diversify and then expand. Okay, diversify, then expand. Let me explain this a little bit. So in the past, you'd create like a commercial. And at Candy Box Marketing, we create commercials, okay? And I'm also telling you like this is something that we do, but we're now sharing this with other pieces of content. So for example, if you're like advertising TheraBreath and helping fit gingivitis, here's an actor, here's a set, here's a scene, here's a story. We're going to pick our marketing, we're going to pick our messaging, we're going to pick our medium. We didn't produce this commercial, by the way, but this is what we do as marketing companies and advertising companies, right? And so we created content. We put out that one piece of content and we push it out all year. The present, everyone creates content. So this is an example of a video that our team had produced here, and so this is working with a content creator. And what's happening here is we're just talking about an every average, a product. This is a not like the crazy professional shoot. It's just using somebody to advertise a product and to get it out there. Okay, content is created by nano influencers. We take a look at the past. Coca-Cola, every year or two or three, they'd come up with a new message and they would just push it out, right? 1982, Coke is it. What do we got here? 1986, Catch the Wave. What the 1990, You Can't Beat That Real Thing. The Real Thing. 1993. This one is like etched like right here in the back of my. Yeah, we can all hear it, right? Always Coca-Cola. Can you even say that without singing it in your head? Yeah, you did too, right? 2021, Real Magic. I'm not really sure if this one is. Anyways, let's just. But what I'm saying here is, in the past, you'd say, okay, this is my message. This is what I'm going to go to town with. One message, and I'm going to just hammer it in my consumer's mind, which has worked. But the future, what we're doing is we're allowing, we're enabling multiple messages to get out there. So if you could take a look at this, this is just different videos about Stanleys that are out there. And you see like the top right, we see these guys with like massive garbage cans and these massive containers as a joke, right? To talk about the size of Stanleys. And what happens is these brands are allowing multiple messages. They find out what resonates and then they push it and they push it and they push it and they take that and they make it into advertising content and they get that out there because what they're doing is they're allowing people to vote with their eyeballs and then they're pushing it through their channels. This is a fun case study. This is one that Candy Box was part of recently, where Eco Comfort. So they provide really high quality pillows and duvets. They're eco friendly. They're biodegradable, and they're just a great product. And we had launched this one campaign, and the first idea was kind of like the clean bedroom, like the Pinterest, bedroom white, really bright, beautiful. And this is an example of the video. So it was product focused, it was very professional, there's high production. Okay. So this is an example of the video, but take a look, 900 views. What an absolute failure. Okay, 900 views. People weren't interested in this. They weren't interested in the picture perfect bedroom. And so the second video that we promoted here was about co-sleeping. So, creating videos that are entertaining, that are relatable, that are like less produced, more like user generated content. And so this one had, I think this one was about 20 million views. And uh, and so this video, very different than the last video, talking about what are you deciding to use as a pillow. It's 5 seconds long, 20 million views. It worked. It got the sales. So sometimes our best ideas, they don't work. We got to keep trying and trying and trying until we find something that resonates with the market. If we take a look at our first content shoot as an agency, we got 6,000 views in 8 posts. What a failure. And then we went on 20 million views in 8 social posts. We have to learn from our experiences of pushing a lot of content out, find out what works, and then keep going with it. Lesson three: one idea, multiple expressions. All right, when you take a look at this, I remember when I was first looking at this market, it just seemed like, oh, this is too much work. Like, this is a lot of stuff that's going on. But actually, when we take a look at content plans, what we do is we try to execute an idea as a brand. We try to execute one idea, but then we cut it up and we have multiple expressions. So, as an example here, this is an example of like an influencer and marketing roadmap. Okay, and every month, what we're doing, it's not just about, hey, let's just create that one video and then it's going to go viral, and then we like post it on YouTube, and then like you get like 500 views and like 10 of them is your mom, and you're like, oh, okay, that that sucks. Like that didn't work, and you spent all this time and money going into this. What we need to do is need to take a look at a lifetime of marketing, including like optimizing and ad setup and strategy and messaging and enabling influencers, and then going back and measuring and going again. Like, this is not a set it and forget it program like brands used to do 20 years ago. I like this quote by Warren Buffett. Someone's sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. Let's think about that for a second. We see all these brands that are doing incredibly well. We take a look at Stanley that is doing incredibly well in 2024. All we have to do is jump into a time machine, go back 4 years, and realize that they were trusting their brand with influencers. They were trusting the future of the company in content that they didn't fully control. They were trusting their marketing messaging with people that don't work for the company. And that's a lot of trust. But they were sowing these seeds, they were putting stuff in the ground that are providing the shade that the company is enjoying today. As an example of kind of getting this out there, as an agency, you may have seen our Super Bowl video, right? So we came up with, I think it's about, yeah, 14-minute video, and this video talks about us like critiquing different Super Bowl ads. Okay, now we didn't create the ads. Uh, Big question: why did we do this? Okay, like people saw this video, they're like, "That's really amazing," but like we put a lot into this production. We are a marketing agency. Our target market is marketing people. And if you have a marketing friend or somebody that's in marketing, or you are that marketing person, you know you're the worst person ever to invite to a Super Bowl party, because you go there and you all you do is talk about the ads and like what's going on and whether it was a good call to action and all that stuff. That is because you're the worst person to watch the Super Bowl. It's terrible. So what we did as marketers is we decided we wanted to create a video about critiquing videos. That's just what we do with Super Bowl, and get it out there so that the people that like that type of content would say, "Hey, Candy Box Marketing knows something about advertising because they're critiquing it, they're providing commentary on it, and we produce that video." So that video on the left was our video. Now it only got 1.5 thousand views, but then we took that one video and we started chopping it up, and then we started like reposting it, and then we started putting it onto YouTube Shorts, and then it's on TikTok, and then we start just rolling it over time. So one idea, one piece of content, multiple expressions, multiple networks, multiple pieces. Because some of the short form videos, just like a quick 10-second spot, got more views than the original 14-minute production. Interesting. This video got 30,000 viewers. Now here's a fun stat: 9,500 of those views were in the chief position in their company. So CEOs, CMOs, CFOs, CIOs. And the reason why is because it was focused a little bit more on LinkedIn and actually getting those views out there to our existing networks of people that we want to get inside their brains. So it was successful. Did it get 10 million views? Absolutely not. Did it get 9,500 views that we wanted? Absolutely. So we need to start thinking about this in terms of our ideal client and saying, let's create a content plan. Let's create an artifact and then let's break it up and feed it to them in different ways and seeing which ways are actually going to take off. Now, what about B2B? And you may be thinking about this as well too. Now, I just gave you our B2B example. Okay, so our B2B example was let's critique the Super Bowl and get it out there. But I want to share with you a couple of different B2B stories. Now, as I do that, we have to know that they're like businesses don't buy things. And you, if you've listened to any of my webinars, you'll hear me say this 100 times. Businesses do not buy things. A business has never called you. Somebody at a business has called you, but a business has never signed a contract. You can't sign in a company name. I have to sign Daryl Keyser. You have to sign your name. So what do we mean here? Is that when we're talking about influencers, we're talking about influencing people in business. And these people are just regular people. They have Instagram accounts. They're watching TikToks with their kids. They're on YouTube. My kids are plagued with the fact that our TV has my YouTube account signed in. And so whenever they are watching any type of video, they're getting videos for things like CRM and different IT solutions and all that stuff, right? So because that's attached to my profile, and every once in a while, I'll be like, whoa, 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 don't skip that ad. I'm really interested in the new software. Like it's coming into my living room. We have to remember that people are the ones that are still buying these services. Now, taking a look at B2B and who's successful, take a look at Gary Vee. Gary Vee runs a marketing agency, and he went from startup to 188 million. His main platform that he got popular on was Instagram, and even back in the day, Facebook. He was heavy into short form video content, heavy into this stuff way at the beginning, like a decade before marketing agencies really caught whiff of what was happening. Tony Robbins, right? Tony Robbins is a business person selling to business people, business courses, business events, business speaking. He makes about $1 million per event. He's in a lot of real estate investments, and then he has about $10 million per year that he runs in programs and courses. Once again, business person selling to other business people, business stuff. It's B2B. Is he on Instagram? Yeah, that's what he's on, right? And he's on LinkedIn, but it is still B2B. Take a look at Larry Kim. Now, this may be a little bit less known. Larry Kim had a number of different SaaS companies. He just goes from SaaS company to SaaS company. He was the CEO of SEM Rush, then it was Mobile Monkey, then it was Customers.ai. But everywhere that Larry goes, he brings the same influencer playbook. If you take a look at his LinkedIn, he's got 90,000 followers. 90,000 marketers that are listening to Larry Kim and finding out what is the next marketing invention, the next marketing SaaS that they need to pay attention to. If you don't have a large network, that's okay. You can actually start with collaborators. And so collaborators are people that want to be interacting with your brand and you can kind of cross pollinate your networks. And so, for example, we did a project. Now, this is years ago, and we did this project with this chemical called Rescue. It's an amazing product that it's a disinfectant, but it doesn't have all the harsh chemicals like alcohol swabs do. And so this was really big in the veterinarian industry. And what we did was we worked with this company to establish that Dr. Marty Becker was like one of the top influencers for vets. And so we actually worked with him to discuss this, to capture video about it, to review the product, and to give his insight on why this was important for vets. So the world is changing, and we are currently living in a world that is focused on influencers. And so, instead of like, what is your marketing plan for 2024? Do you have an influencer plan for 2024? Is that even like gotten its way into your marketing playbook? And before you think I'm closing out and you're going to shut this window and all that stuff, I've got an offer for you guys in a couple of seconds that you won't be able to confuse, and you may also be able to get a free Stanley Cup. I'm serious. So my question to you is not just how are you going to win a Stanley Cup, right? How are you going to win a Stanley Cup? It's not going to be luck. It's not going to be just lightning striking your business and everything is going to happen overnight. But our question to companies is how are you going to create a Stanley Cup moment? What are you going to be doing in the next year with content, with influencers that is going to create that type of brand identification, that brand loyalty, that discussion around your company that is going to catapult you to new levels of success? So my offer for you today. Now this is like we work with small mid-sized businesses, and so unfortunately this is only for companies that have 5 or more employees. Okay, because we need some type of momentum to get these things going, and so our minimum is 5 employees plus. Is if you want to either click on the link, Mafuz has just put it into the chat right there. You can click on that link, or you can take out your phone and scan that QR code if you want to keep this window live and fill out a short form. What our team will do is we are going to provide you as an agency, okay? These are real agency people working on this. We are going to provide you a free social media audit to take a look at what you're currently doing and ideas for an influencer plan. Okay. Now, this isn't a full, like, we're not actually producing all this stuff, but what we do is we're going to put together a PowerPoint, a presentation for you, and we're going to show you where are you at right now and what are some ideas to bring you into the future. Guys, I really want to thank you for your time today. Feel free to click on the link there, and take a look at that offer. Fill out the form if you're interested in. And our free Stanley Cup moment is that we are going to be picking one of those companies. So one of those companies that are signing up for a free audit and influencer plan, and we will be sending you your own Candy Box Marketing Stanley Cup. It comes with a handle and a straw, and it is coming into your mailbox if you win. All right, so no purchase necessary, all that fun contest stuff. We just want to bless you guys. We want to send out a free Candy Box Marketing Stanley Cup. Guys, thank you so much for joining. If you want to share this video or have it for replay, feel free to just Google Candy Box Marketing YouTube. Go on there, subscribe to our channel, and we'll be releasing this in the next couple of days. Guys, thanks so much for your time today. Have a great week.